Top of the morning, everyone. My name is Tshidi and I'm back with another video. And today's video is how to answer take me through your resume. Some people start from the beginning of when they started their career to the end. Some people start from what they're currently doing to the beginning of their careers. And it's always sometimes very tricky to figure out where do you want to start when it comes to this question about take me through your resume. And remember, this is actually a chance for you to actually walk the panel through what you have done in the past, some of the work that you have done, some of the achievements, some of the things that you've actually been able to do in the last couple of years. And it is also important that you actually spend very little time answering this question. Please do not spend 30 minutes just answering this one question, because in that 30 minutes, the panel is actually expecting to ask you a bit more detailed questions about certain things that you might have mentioned through this take me through your resume or take me through your CV. And it also allows you to be able to also get a chance to ask the panel some questions. So please do not rush through it or do not take too much time in one question, because you have a lot more to actually prove at the end of the day. Now, remember, there are 5 ways in which you can actually go through your resume. And what I'm going to try and do in the next couple of minutes is actually to take you through some of the things that you need to remember. Number 1, go through your resume the day before and glance for it 30 minutes before the interview. Always make sure that you actually go through your resume just the day before that interview, because you're able to start picking up some of the mistakes that might have been there. And we always sometimes advise that 30 minutes or so before the interview, you have a glance at it, you go through it again to understand what is actually in there, what did you put in the resume, so that you can actually speak about these things from your top of mind. So please do not wait until the day when you're actually in the interview and you start now going through this resume and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I had put that in there. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos where I spoke about the top 5 mistakes I made when I was actually looking for jobs. One of them was exactly that, is the fact that I could have actually taken time to look at my resume the days before. I would have seen some of these mistakes, but unfortunately I didn't. So make sure that you go through the resume just the day before, because it'll help you and save you a lot of drama and a lot of stories to actually worry about. The second thing that you need to also do is print your resume and have it, or bring an iPad and make sure that your resume is in front of you. Because there are times, or some of the panel members like to go through line by line and ask you, oh, I see there's this comment here. What exactly does that comment mean? But if you have it in front of you, you're able to now freely answer some of these questions. So just print it out, take it with you. Or if you're one of those people that obviously don't have a printer, or you have something like that, just maybe carry it with you in an iPad or whatever you might have. Some of the people might even have it on their mobile phones. So if you have it in the mobile phone, just make sure that at the time when they actually do ask, or when they do say to you, there's a line that says 1, 2, 3, you either are able to say to them, by the way, I'm definitely not looking at anything else. I'm just looking at what comment that is. But if you've gone through it the day before, an hour before, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. So just be prepared to actually be able to answer that kind of a question, because if you're not prepared, it can really work against you, unfortunately. The third thing is always start at the beginning of your career. Start with where your career started, and then try and at least spend, I would say normally maximum of about 7 minutes or so taking people through your resume. Do not take too much time, more than just 7 minutes. 7 minutes is normally the threshold where people's attention span is you still have it there. But the moment you start going above that, people start thinking about the meetings that they have next or some of the other things. So just try and keep it short and keep it interesting. And there are certain things in the resume that from the beginning of your career that you can just highlight to say this is what's happening, and then take it up until your current role or the role that you actually have been doing previously, if you were unemployed at the time. The fourth thing is brush through roles that have very little to do with the job that you're actually interviewing for. Don't spend too much time on those roles. Just brush through them. It's a quick go through to say, okay, this is what this role was. This is what I basically did. Like, for example, if you're applying to become somebody in HR, and the previous roles that you worked on where you were doing waitressing and things like that, and somebody has an idea of what that role entails, then brush through those. You don't have to spend too much time explaining exactly what each day looked like. And then finally, spend a bit more time on the roles or the areas that are aligned to the interview. Now, it is extremely important that when you're actually doing that and you're spending that time in those roles that are aligned to the interview that you're interviewing for, you also highlight the achievements. You need to make sure that you highlight some of the great wins, some of the great losses, some of the things that you've learned about that, and make sure that you're ready to actually answer some of the questions that might come your way. And the other thing that I always say to people when it comes to take me through your resume, it's okay to ask people, where would you like me to start? Because some of the people have had quite a number of years of experience that they've been working on and to start from the beginning, like some of the people with 5 years compared to somebody with about 30 years experience, it's always sometimes very nice to say to them, where would you like me to start? And then if they highlight to you where they would like you to start, then you start from there. But you should always remember that the ball is always in your court. When it comes to take me through your resume, you own the narrative and you make sure that you control the panel and you look at what the panel is doing and how they're reacting to certain things. And if they feel that you're actually taking a bit longer, people's body language is always easier to read when it comes to that. Those are the top 5 things that you need to always consider when it comes to the question about take me through your resume. And once again, Top of the Morning with Tshidi. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and I can't wait to actually share with you some of the other ideas that we've got. Until we meet again, thank you. Bye.